Alexis, happy
Yes,
holidays. What's going on?
thank you. Quite a bit actually. It's been quite active and quite busy these past couple of months, to be honest.
Yes, I know holiday seasons were here. You were traveling, all kinds of stuff. Business was still growing, so I wanted to come and at least huddle with you today and just do a little review
Sure.
and share your journey to this point. So, I know you hit 10K pretty quickly. I'd love
Yeah.
to maybe hear from you. Um, Actually, we'll get to that in a second. Maybe even before that, before you got into the business and why you were looking even into like cleaning or anything like this, could you share with us like how you were thinking about the opportunity, what went into your decision making, and ultimately maybe a little bit about your background? Because I know you're a little bit different than most people in
Sure.
terms of just your profile.
Yeah, sure. So I mean, for I'm not going to divulge my age necessarily, but for for quite some time, I was actually working corporate. I was working primarily with I don't know if you're familiar with them, Wrigley's and Mars. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
big confectionery companies. So I was initially I was based out in the Middle East, all the Gulf areas and so forth, and that was a lot of fun because that was considered to be an explorer's market. So I had a lot of freedom to go out and to build the business. I didn't have too much interference from anybody else, so it was quite entrepreneurial, I would say, in that regard. So that was fun. Then I seem to have done a decent enough job that they thought, okay, let's move this guy to the UK, which was a lot more regimented. Uh, you know, where I didn't have as much freedom to do what I wanted necessarily, unfortunately.
Sure.
But I mean, nonetheless, it was a great school. I had a great time there. I did my master's and everything, so that was a lot of fun. And then I wanted to change, and I had an opportunity. It came up, in a discussion at a wedding. If I wanted to join a new business, completely different liquidation business. So basically, buying and selling all the customer returns, all the overstocks, all the seasonal product from stores like Walmart, Home Depot, Target, all their excess goods, whatever goods they don't want, buying and selling. So I was a CEO of a company out in Los Angeles. I did that for 10 years or something, give or take. And then I thought, the owners are smart, but they're not that much smarter than me. And so why am I, I was earning a good living, don't get me wrong, it was nice. But then I thought, why do they get all the benefits of being an owner and I don't? So that's when I decided to do my own thing. So I started my own liquidation company, which I'm still doing. That's a big part of my day is still that. And then I just wanted to diversify, I guess, because I thought, okay, there's no guarantees in the liquidation industry, and there's no guarantees in any business for that matter. And so I was looking at actually a whole bunch of different businesses. I mean, I think we were talking first on LinkedIn initially.
Yep.
I'd seen you talk about the cleaning industry and so forth. And there's a whole bunch of other guys that talk about, selling online and setting up, online stores and this, that, and the other. It just seemed a bit too complicated for me. I wanted something that was relatively straightforward, something relatively simple. I'm going to say in inverted commas, recession proof almost, because everybody appreciates at least a clean home. I've managed people before, so I thought, okay, this seems to be a good fit. I Perhaps I was a little naive. I didn't think it would be this hard, at least initially, because it's not an easy business to start off, to be honest with you. It's a lot of effort that has to go into it. I forgot about that part in the beginning, but it's okay. So that's really how I got into this business. But I have to say, I mean, it's been very insightful. It's been a lot of learnings. It's been a lot of fun, to be honest, because it's a challenge on a daily basis. Because I think until the point where you have repeat business, and even getting to the point where you have repeat business, you kind of have to, your first clean is your first interview, and maybe they want a second interview before they sort of really trust you 100% to come on a consistent, ongoing basis. And that's kind of where we are now. I mean, I've been doing this business now I've been doing it before November, but I think we officially started November the 14th is when we officially started. So it's about, give or take 2 months now.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, so that's how I got into this cleaning business.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
appreciate the insights there. And then as of the 2 months, where are you at currently revenue wise?
Revenue wise is just shy of 30,000.
Okay. So I think there's a couple things that I'll just kind of like take away from even what you said. I think obviously you have a lot of experience in business, period. So I think for you, like this was more of like what is a good fit for maybe your next chapter, whereas opposed to some people, hey, it's the first time where I'm ever doing anything
Yeah.
like this. So I think your version of struggle and other people's version of struggle
Right.
might be a different thing. Cause I think if in 2 months, if someone else was at 30K, they'd be like, oh my God, like that's amazing. And I think for you, it's just, hey, this is part of the process. I think the part that was interesting to me is like you kind of, you have to start back down to zero anytime you start a
Yes.
new business. And I think for you, that was like, oh yeah, this is what it's like when there's
Yeah.
nothing around, which is obviously a whole kind of revisit and stepping stone in and of itself. So, I mean, I just want to congratulate you on just like being open-minded enough
Oh,
to go
thank you.
back down the ladder, so to speak, put
Yeah.
the time in and come back up. And obviously, I think you're going to keep going very far. And also, congratulations on hitting that milestone. I know you're an excellent entrepreneur, so I think it's just going to be
Oh,
hopefully a steady incline from here,
yes, I hope
leaving
so.
this call as well.
Yeah.
But I
Hopefully.
think maybe would be probably beneficial is having said that you have a bunch of experience. What did you think was like maybe a difficult thing for you that you found in this business, or was there something that you had like a realization, with all your experience, how you brought it into this? Could you share us like maybe some things on your side as you're going through this process on maybe how
Yeah.
and I think another thing to note is, I know we said this off camera, but you also were in Greece for a month of this, two
Yes.
months. And I think like that's also a whole nother challenge in and of itself. You were quite literally operating it from half a world away on a completely different time zone.
Yes, but actually that was actually pretty good, I thought, because
Oh, you did?
that is the idea, is
Oh,
to
for
be
sure.
able to be able to move around. Okay, so the business is based in New York, and at the moment, I'm based in New York, yeah, but I'm
Yes,
actually going to be moving to Florida in the next few months. So that was a good test that, hey, look, I can be on the other side of the world practically and run this business. If I just move to Florida, I can still run the New York business and I'm not too worried that
sure,
something will happen. It also gave me a little bit of experience, I guess, because the plan is in the future potentially to open up another 2-3 companies in different states and expand a little bit in that regard. So yes. Plus, I should add also, I also started another business, an export business as well at the same time. But that's okay because that's a little bit more in my sort of wheelhouse doing that. So that I didn't feel
sure.
that as much as I did with the cleaning one. The cleaning one, I think number one, it was a good reminder that success is what's the word in English? It's not always linear. Yeah, you're
Sure.
gonna have ups and downs and so forth. And there were some days I thought, oh God, I've got no sales today. I've reached out to I don't know how many potential clients. Sometimes leads weren't coming through, or you got to make decisions on your budget. Because you set a certain budget every week. Let's say with Thumbtack, and you don't get enough leads, and so your leads have expired at the moment. Increase your budget, this, that, and the other. And I think you got sort of balance. Should I increase my budget? Should I not increase my budget? I want sales, but at the same time, I also want to be profitable as
Sure.
well. And so there's a little bit that balance, sort of talking myself through, well, the first few months are just the investment. You'll see
Sure.
the fruit of that later. So it's these kind of things. I guess these were like nice reminders to have about business. Yeah. Because it's not
Yes.
always going to be nice and easy, because the program is beautiful, it's nicely laid out, and everything's very helpful, and there's a nice model to follow, but it's not always perfect. Obviously, there's the
Sure.
implementation side of it, and but I think the biggest thing for me was actually finding good cleaners.
Yep.
It's not like, I don't know, you're interviewing a salesman and you get to meet them always face to face and sit with them, and you can get references and background checks and this, that, and the other. It's not really the case with the cleaners, and I realize, cleaners, they can help make your business, yeah, but they can very easily break your business as well, because it only takes a few bad reviews, and because I know how it is with me. If I go to a Google review and I see a company has got like a low rating, I'm like, yeah, skip it, go to the next one, potentially. So I've had some good luck, and I've had some, I would say, some poor decisions on my end in regards
Sure.
to hiring. I haven't had the luxury, of saying, okay, I don't know a lot of people in New York, so I haven't, I can't always bring everybody here to my home and say, okay, we'll clean the house. Let's see how you do it.
Sure.
So I've had to sort of rely that they do a job, get feedback. If they do a good job, okay, give them a second job, a third one, and so forth. It's just that some people have done a great job and then suddenly they become very poor,
Yep.
and things like that. So that's for me has been, I think, the biggest challenge is, which I think probably is true for most people, in all honesty, is getting it's true for every business, is having the right people on board and who share the same sort of standards that you
Yes.
set and you want. Because the reality is you do rely on them. I can't do the clean. I don't want to do the cleans. Yeah. So they've got to do it, but they've got to do it to the level where you think, okay, like, God, this is like your business now. So I try to instill in all of them now is that this is your business. This is your book of business. This is your company. And if they take that approach, it usually works with most people, and it hasn't quite worked with everybody, unfortunately. But it's been a good learning in there.
Valuable insights there. Obviously, I don't think hiring can be 100% perfect every time, unfortunately, in the real world,
Yeah,
as much as we'd
that's
like
true.
it to be.
That's
I'm actually
true.
curious, switching gears a little bit here. Obviously, you have 3 businesses you kind of run. You do this kind of frequently. How do you view the long-term vision for what you're seeing in the cleaning business, and where do you see yourself, I guess, taking things in the next 3 to 5 years?
Yeah, so I think on that one is I'm going to give myself a few more months just to solidify what we have here in New York. I very purposely I limited myself to one particular borough of New
Sure.
York City, which in my head I'm saying, okay, it's small. It's 2.2 million people. It's not that small. Yeah, it's pretty big, to be honest. But in my head it's like only one place that I service. Although we do go out every now and then to other areas. But the idea would be, in the next 3 to 6 months that we can expand that, go out into different, because there are opportunities in nearby sort of areas that we can take advantage of. So we'll do that. There's the light commercial cleaning, which we're starting to introduce. I know we've spoken about that a few times on the side. That's something I think it's with Cohesive AI that we started to work with a little bit. We got some leads through there. That just started January the 5th. So
Cool.
we'll see how that goes. But I'm actually quite excited about that. I think that will be, because those jobs are recurring jobs. It's not
Always.
just a one-off, which is what I always aim for is recurring, because that's like a subscription-based business. That's a beautiful business in my opinion. Then, yeah,
Yes.
you don't start every day at zero. You start every day. You've got something already in the bank, so to speak. But then my idea would be in the next 3 to 5 years would be to open up in different areas across the United States. Because if you can scale them to a certain size, on their own, they may not be massive. So if you get it, let's just say to, I don't know, 30, 40,000 a month, and you're doing that sort of level of business on one business, you look at it, I think, okay, well, that's all right. That's nice. But if you can manage to do it on 2, 3, 4, 5 businesses, suddenly you combine all of those together, your business looks a lot different. With the idea that maybe, okay, at some point, if you really wanted, that's something you could sell, for example. That would be if there was an exit plan,
Sure.
in the future. There's a long way to go before you get there. But I always like to think, what could be the exit plan, and then sort of work according to a potential exit moving forward. That
Okay.
would be the idea.
I love it. I think
Yeah.
that's gonna be you already are a high level executor, so I'm not gonna be shocked if that's what the reality is in
Right.
3 to 5 years. So,
I'll keep you posted.
yes, yes. Curious from you, Alexis, from the program side, was
Yeah.
there anything for you that you found most valuable for yourself?
I mean, I think it was, all the, honestly, it was all the technical stuff. It's something like, like what do you call it? Is it the Quo, whatever it's called these days?
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
that what's
Mhm.
going to Quo? Things like that, actually, the Google ads and all of that stuff. For me, that was, and, the website and so forth. because I'm not, I don't do these things typically. In my other businesses, I don't even have a website in my other businesses because I don't need one. Yeah.
Sure.
And because, we like to keep things nice and quiet because retailers don't want, all this brand credibility and so forth. I realize it's not the case in the cleaning business. You're going to be actively involved and so forth. So I think, from the marketing side and then all the technical side of it all, that for me was really, really, really helpful. Very, very helpful. And everything
Awesome.
else was helpful as well. I have to admit, it's a very well laid out course. There's a nice logic to it. Very simple. And it's easy to follow, which is great, actually.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
And I guess last question here, Alexis, if someone
Sure.
was on and this obviously comes from you, you're very successful in business prior to this, but if someone was, I guess, maybe just getting into entrepreneur, because I think a lot of people, they're just getting into something for the first time. They don't have, business experience or exiting and being a CEO and things like that. If someone was getting into a business like this and looking at a program like this, what would you tell them?
That's a good question. I'd actually tell them, I wish I started this earlier, if I'm honest. And so I would tell them, you've got to take action. You've just got to do it at some point. I mean, if their first time moving into entrepreneurship and so forth, I mean, there's nothing better, in my opinion, at least, being an entrepreneur, being the boss of your own time. And I didn't think twice when I had to go to Greece, after 2 weeks after launching the business, because I thought, okay, well, I can. Who's going to tell me that I can't? And I set my own hours and I do what I want. And there is a certain value to that freedom. Entrepreneurship, I don't think is for everybody. I think, there are people who think like employees and there are people who think like entrepreneurs. So it's not for everybody. But if you are interested in doing it, and particularly in the cleaning industry, and particularly in the course that you are offering and so forth, I would say go for it. You've got nothing to lose, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Why not?
All right. You heard it here
Good
first.
fun.
Good
Yes.
fun. Good fun. We'll close on good fun.
Yes, it
Alexis,
really was.
obviously, we'll stay in touch.
Yes.
And congratulations on the early success. I think there's a lot more to come. And
Yeah.
it's been a pleasure just, seeing you develop very quickly, even with all the things going on and still exceeding everyone's expectations, including myself. I think you might have been the fastest to 30K.
Oh, right.
I'm pretty
Okay.
sure.
Wow.
So
Okay.
I think you're right. There's a few people that have been there in 60 days ish, but very, very incredible growth. And
I
I think
appreciate that. Thank you.
that just comes from a lot of experience, but really cool stuff to see.
Thank you. I appreciate all your help as well.
Okay.
Very good of
All right,
you.
Alexis.
All right. You take care.
Seeing you.
See
Take
you.
care.
Bye.